Men are expected to carry out more work while giving women a larger portion of the benefits. It is challenging for the women who are battling for equality now that some men have realized this and are backing off. If males are told that they are needed because they are expected to accomplish much more than their fair part and provide women at least half of the wealth, they will be able to recognize when they are being exploited. Contrary to what some women might argue, if men actually were absolutely equal to women, more men would choose their own path and go their own way, which is not something that women are happy with either. Why do I say this? Because if men and women were actually equal, then men really will have to be competing and living with women who will have the characteristic of men. And that's not something that men like in women. That's not something that all women can be like, to be honest. What about being feminine? Is that a dying concept now? Or are we in an era of New Age feminism where equality is only considered when it's beneficial for women, or in other words, selective equality? So, why do modern women hate the idea of guys living their own lives and doing things their own way? Why do these women respond negatively when men live their lives in a way that satisfies their wants and desires? Why does it cause such a problem for women when men decide they don't need women in their lives any longer, or that they simply don't want to handle the drama of a relationship? Men are told what they want by women and feminists, but women often complain when men do exactly as they want, or let's say, as equally as they want things to be. Focus on the word equal here. You've probably seen this happen, which defies logic because it's not necessarily an indication that a man is searching for something novel when he asks a woman for something extremely specific, and she practically gives it to him. When feminists say they desire equality, they don't actually mean it. For instance, women genuinely want a man to listen to them when they want him to confront them. Their ultimate goal seems to be to stir up gender conflict in society. Hence, it's not exactly what a woman wants when she asks a strange, persistent man to leave her alone, and only attractive men approach her in general. She still wants the beta men to talk to her so she can successfully place them in the friend zone and take advantage of them in other ways, either financially or emotionally. According to theory, feminists who support gender equality should be excited by men's autonomy. It's like a group of men that treat women with the same level of contempt that women frequently exhibit towards men. Nevertheless, unhappily, they choose excellent outcomes over extraordinarily high accountability. Developing the heart and mindset of a guide who works harder than they do and provides for them throughout his life is the only way to secure a high-quality result. Women are labeling men who go their own way as women haters and condemning us when in reality, all we're concerned about is the preservation of our identities and peace. We're essentially calling women's bluff by going their own way. Women will never be in favor of us making our own decisions because they depend on us for survival. If they don't, society collapses and they lose everything. However, if they did, we would see them for what they are actually: toddlers acting like grown-ups. You are not automatically a man just because you put on a pair of pants. The only possible explanation for women liking other women and living together and working is that women are allowed to enter the workforce and generate enough wealth to support themselves. Since it's unlikely that women built their houses or founded the businesses or government organizations that the majority of these women work for, there aren't actually any women going their own way. Women can only attempt to forge their own paths once all of the labor has been completed for them and all of the resources are in their possession. They don't like Megta since the labor and resources are still controlled by men, which is understandable. They criticize men going their own way because it prohibits them from having control over the resources. Again, women are hesitant to speak it out loud since doing so would reveal their inability and demonstrate that they actually depend on men far more than they realize. Women like other women would vanish overnight if women weren't permitted to work in the workforce as they were in the 20th century because they would all be looking for husbands to support them. Instead of their intimacy, they would be more concerned with how much money they were spending on their lifestyle. They wouldn't be thinking about being physical at all. Only in the middle to late 20th century did women have access to a lifestyle where women could be romantically involved with other women in public. I believe that as more and more men go their separate ways, accumulating their own riches and living their own lives, women will become more and more destitute or reliant on credit and the government to survive. Because it's a societal norm, women frequently say one thing while really meaning another. They can't seem to approach anything in life directly, thus it's likely part of their biology as well. They aren't as literal as men are, but they are always attempting to enter our thoughts through our back doors. Because we have a variety of goals to pursue in the actual world, men cannot afford to be overly literal. Women, on the other hand, can't afford to be upfront because if something goes wrong, we know what they're up to, where they stand on any particular topic, or their genuine motives are obvious. They don't want us to truly place the responsibility on them because women are physically and emotionally weaker. Women who were more successful at influencing males throughout history pass on their genes to subsequent generations. Men used to experience less agony and suffering when they died in war, at least in the past. However, nowadays, a man who gets divorced and loses his house, children, wife, and sense of purpose is in a far worse situation than a man who dies on the battleground. Women simply want us to accept the bait and fight them in a staged game. Love is our battleground. Projecting vulnerability gives women power because it encourages men to step up, get engaged, and take care of them. However, as women showcase more and more authority, males will go their own way and seek out other motivations for living in addition to defending women. Why should we still be here if women don't require our protection? Women want men to remain by their side, take care of them, and listen to their issues, but they also want men to believe that they are not dependent on them. With the promise of freedom from males, feminism has devastated the majority of Western women. Women need males more than they realize because they are unhappy at work and are turning into crazy, lonesome cat ladies, but they won't confess it as long as it is taboo to do so. In the future decades, as our culture gets more conservative, they will eventually come to recognize it. Then, rather than saying they need males because it's true, women will claim they do because it's fashionable to do so. When ladies scream out for males to assist them, a lot of men will genuinely respond and come to their aid, restoring the supposedly traditional connection. Once they appeal to men to assist them, neo-traditionalism will make a comeback. Then it's likely that many men will respond to their appeals and come to assist them. In exchange, they'll receive conventional relationships and a new variety of neo-traditionalism will manifest itself. Women will suddenly claim to care about males in this scenario, thereby forcing men back to the negotiating table. Because the men's rights movement aims to reunite men and women in a conventional relationship, there are numerous traditions within it. That is likely another reason why the men's rights movement despises MGTOW 2.0. It not only educates men about the nature of women, but also informs them that they have no chance of victory, because they are mostly married and serving as white knights for the women in their lives. Males in the men's rights movement sometimes struggle to adequately protect men. Their attention is first dispersed and not concentrated in one spot. But with MGTOW, we speak the truth and are not frightened of what others may say, even if they are liberal lunatics. Because we won't fit neatly into the kinocentrism box that males are meant to fit in, feminists despise us. You may either choose to be a conservative man or a man who acts like a feminist. Feminists only want to give males those two options since women benefit regardless of what they choose. Men's independence occasionally conflicts with their beliefs of feminism and supremacy, even though it promotes actual equality. They are superior because we must play the game and follow their rules. They want subjects, but we've chosen to go into exile. The influential males will eventually leave the nations where they are valued if feminists continue to ruin our cultures by importing sizable conservative populations. Guys who prefer to act independently tend to stay away from women and refrain from playing. Instead, we decide to stay in the grubby liberal cities. As a result, we accumulate more wealth and alienate the women, who are disillusioned when they see what they are unable to acquire. that's it for today. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. And let us know your thoughts on this in the comments. We're always up for a healthy debate and discussion.